Do you know what a cybercrime is? While we watch tons of detective series, movies, yet some of us might not be aware of the proper definition. But I'm absolutely sure that everyone is aware of it. So, cybercrime. Cybercrime is basically a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer or a networked device via the World Wide Web. While popular media represents hacking as a cool thing to be a part of it, do you know that in India it can put you in jail for up to 3 years, or you can be fined for rupees 5 lakhs or both? Cybercrime attacks can begin wherever there is digital data, opportunity and motive. Also, the greed for money, information, or simply the quest for revenge drives most of the recorded cybercrimes.
Is cyberbullying a cybercrime? Bullying or harassment through social media can be sexual, racial, religious, or gender specific. In India, there is no specific provision under any legislation to deal with the issue of cyberbullying. However, there are various provisions in the existing laws which can somehow be related to the various forms of cyberbullying. Among the existing laws, the role played by the Information Technology Act, however partial, is very significant. It has been interpreted by the courts to deal in such cyberspace issues like cyberbullying, cyberstalking, etc.
Cybercrimes have no fixed boundaries, but there are a few categories where most of the offenses are observed. So let's just run through them quickly. Number 1. Phishing scams. The majority of successful cyber attacks begin when curiosity or fear or a sense of urgency entices someone to enter personal data. Just about clicking on any link sent through an SMS or via social media might make you a victim of phishing, which is one of the simplest ways through which cybercrimes are initiated nowadays. Secondly, website spoofing. The word spoof means to trick. Website spoofing is when a website is designed to look like a real one and deceive you into believing it is a legitimate site. This is usually done to gain your confidence, get access to your systems, steal data, steal money, or spread malware. Thirdly, ransomware. Ransomware is a modern-day technical twist on a crime that has been around for ages. That is extortion. At its core, ransomware works when criminals steal something of great value and demand payment in exchange for its return. Fourthly, cyberstalking. Now we all know that cyberstalking is very common nowadays, and cyberstalking is basically a kind of online harassment wherein the victim or the survivor is subjected to an overflow of unwanted online messages. Typically, these stalkers know their subjects very well, and instead of resorting to offline stalking, they use the internet to stalk. Fifthly, prohibited or illegal content. This cybercrime involves criminals sharing offensive content that can include but is not only limited to pornographic materials, mock pictures, or videos of intense violence and criminal activity.
Me and my friend are a victim of this whole thing. To be very honest, the way I'm going to tell about our incident, through this video is nothing similar to what we actually felt during those days. We cannot elaborate at all. So me and my friends' morph pictures were circulated in a group, and those pictures had our phone numbers attached to it, along with a price rate. You know what price rate is. And I still remember how I had felt when I opened the group and there were my images flashing. Horrific. The next day we went to the police station and we filed an FIR. They showed a positive response at the beginning, but then we didn't get that vibe that they would actually help us, and they didn't. So we got our case referred to the CID, and in the CID office we went to the cyber cell security services, and they really did really did find out the details of the number in a very short duration. And but they failed to find they failed to investigate about the number and how the person or the name on which the number is registered. And on the following days, we received numerous calls and numerous WhatsApp text messages asking about our prices, how much we charge per night, and which positions do we like, and stuff that are nasty, like stuff that can make you cry. The first night I really broke down, but then I thought that it's not something to cry. It's really funny because those pictures are not even real. They are morph pictures. But luckily we got hold of a guy who was calling us, and he turned out to be a bit generous, and he helped us out to find out where our numbers were leaked. And we found out that our photos were actually viral in 2 to 3 groups, and those groups really had members in them. And to be honest, I'm blabbering because I don't have a script. I cannot tell my story from a script because it has to be raw. It is coming out directly from my mouth. I mean, there is no filter or anything, so please don't mind my blabbering. And then we forwarded the details about those groups to the police, but then we didn't get much help. The cybercrimes here are not taken seriously, to be very honest, because the suspects are still around us, happy, healthy, and we cannot even say a thing to them because we don't have the proof. The service, they didn't help us. The system didn't help us, but the rage is still there. But then what's the profit of having the rage if you cannot quench it? And those, in my 22 years of life, those nights were the worst. Really, those are the worst. And there is another ugly part of the whole thing, that I was being asked in the police station, because I filed an FIR. I was being asked in the police station if I had an affair with one of the suspects, if I had some argument, and if he was my ex, if we were having some argument, and then he did it in the revenge. But the thing is, we believe why he did it. We believe because I actually had an argument with him, with one of the suspects, because he called me a prostitute, and I stood up for myself. And I think that's the whole thing, because I don't know them personally. Yeah, that's it. The police and the CID have stopped responding. The case is it's zipped.
What could be the causes of such horrific crimes? While no cause is justifiable, we have come across these as the most probable ones. Number 1, lack of empathy. Cybercriminals are often jealous, unhappy, or piled up with monotony. Given the access and opportunity, they are encouraged to bully people online and do illegal acts just to satisfy their needs, and sadly, they rarely feel guilty about it. Number 2, revengeful attitude. Resentment and feelings of hurt after an argument or a breakup leads to revengeful thoughts, and cyberbullying or cyberstalking comes to them as the easiest way to hurt back their target. They feel the victim deserves it, which further worsens the situation. Number 3 is information theft or financial gain. Hackers attack their target and get access to their confidential data and use it to their benefits of personal or professional interest. The root cause of this is the desire to earn easy money and entertain huge financial gain. Number 4 is complexity of code. One single mistake in the programming of millions of codes provides an opportunity to the criminals to take advantage of the loopholes and commit cybercrime.
So, what are the measures that you can take against cybercrime? Firstly, Parents, teachers, or any adult around the kid should communicate and educate them about digital responsibility and talk about it and discuss about it with them and make them aware about it. Secondly, sudden changes in anyone's behavior or mood should be made note of. Anything fishy must be addressed by the family and friends, and necessary steps should be taken. Thirdly, don't click on any unanticipated link. It is usually best to ignore and delete such messages which mention winning a huge sum of money or winning a big lottery. Fourthly, never ever share your bank details and OTPs with anyone. Also, do not keep cracked versions of apps on your devices.
What should you do if you fall victim to a cybercrime? Now, we humans have a tendency to imagine ourselves at the worst case scenarios and think of ways in which we would handle the whole situation. Now, if you fall victim to a cybercrime, firstly, do not panic. I know it sounds really silly, like when we tell someone not to panic, when they exactly should be panicking, but you should not panic. You should not panic. Keep yourself calm and talk to someone whom you trust. Secondly, if there's theft of money from your bank account, the first thing you should do is block your ATM card and report to the bank authorities immediately. Thirdly, you should make sure you change the passwords of all your online accounts. And try to keep the inappropriate text messages and screenshots as evidences if it is a case of cyber harassment. And try to make good use of the report abuse section of the social media sites. That really helps. In case of immediate danger, one must file an FIR at the police station or contact any emergency services like cybercrime.gov.in and click on the file a complaint button. Cybercrime related to malicious text messages received by women and children can be reported to the cybercrime reporting portal of the Umang app.
In today's digital world, people are trading convenience for privacy, which means we are sharing more and more about ourselves on the internet. While we can all appreciate one-click checkouts and saved passwords, then mental autopilot can sometimes steer us wrong. Most of us are drawn towards the modded or the cracked versions of premium apps. They save us from paid subscriptions, so why not, right? But think twice. Are you willing to compromise your phone's privacy? Or are you okay with the hackers injecting malicious codes through these apps? Do you know that there is a hacker attack every 39 seconds on an average? So look out, be aware. The most we can do as a provision is to look out for suspicious emails, too good to be true SMS alerts, and bogus websites. Remember to back your data up and do things the right way. Let it cost you some bucks rather than your security.